Hello, it's me, Snacky-chan, Sassy Llama, and welcome to a review of the game Slain, Back from Hell. Now, you may realize that this game sounds amazing just from its title. And it's a side-scrolling 2D platformer that is also a hack and slash. Pretty simple. Before we even get to the rest of it, I want to talk about the controls, because the controls are perfect. They have simple control scheme, which is used on the Xbox controller specifically. It's probably the similar button set for the PlayStation version, but you use the left analog stick to go left and right. Press A to jump, X to attack, which has two versions. It has the press spam X to do a 3-hit combo, and then you hold X to do a charge shot, which has to be released at a set time, otherwise it's just wasted. And I think that's pretty neat already. The Y button is a block, and you could also do a last minute block, which stuns the enemy. You have a dash button, which only goes backwards from the way you're facing. So if you're facing left, you'll go right, and right, then left. Aye. And then you've got a magic button, which shoots a little bulb across the screen to whichever direction you're facing or whatever height you're facing. It doesn't home in on anyone, and you can charge that up for a super powerful shot as well. But I warn you that the charge shot, magic shot, does take a lot of your mana away, and you can be left almost useless. So if you do a critical strike from a charged melee attack, or you get in one of those, manage to protect yourself at the last moment for with a block, and stun them to get a kill, that also can get your mana back outside of the control points. But starting off, now you know the system. It feels great to move in this game. It doesn't slide. It doesn't feel clunky. It's a fluid motion without all the horrible stuff on the side. So if you move left, you move left. You move right, you move right. You let go of either one of those. He doesn't go, oh, I'll take 1 or 2 extra steps. He'll stop. And that's great. Jumping feels a little bit awkward at first because it doesn't quite reach some of the platforms, because you have to find the right platform to jump up. But once you get over that little thing, the jumping works. Although some of the bad guys you cannot jump over, and I've tried, because for some reason, even if you caress them with your body, you take damage. Not a problem. I could deal with that. Hitting people is pretty great. The swing feels like it's got some actual weight behind it, because it takes that extra moment to do the swing before it actually comes down. And when you're doing the combo, it flows beautifully. Now, some of the enemies actually do give you lovely presents known as projectile attacks, and you can actually reflect them with a good, well-timed swing. It's great. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it becomes quite easy once you've mastered that little bit of timing, and great. The block is not your average block where all your damage, you're just protected from everything. You do take damage, and over time you can take more damage the longer you block. So I'd recommend not playing that kind of thing unless you're one of those fantastic god level counter players who can just block. And beware, when you're swinging your sword, you cannot cancel it out into a block. It makes it fair. Otherwise, all you're going to do is press, oh no, you press X. I am halfway through a swing, and the skeleton attacks you. And you take damage because you realize that you're still swinging a sword, and you cannot swing a sword, then go block. It's not instant. So, the controls are already prove a lot of the game's worth. It feels great. The only thing I had trouble with really was the dash. because it only goes backwards from the way you're facing. I had a bad habit of pressing the dash button when I turned away from the enemy to try and get away, as you do, because you sometimes when you're playing these games, you think, "Oh no, that person's going to hit me." Turn, dash. You don't often always think, "Oh, if I'm holding on, facing the other way, I'm going to dash backwards straight into them," and I've done that loads of times. It's not fun in that way. Moving on to the graphics and how it looks. It looks amazing. It brings back a nostalgic feeling from back in the Sega Genesis days to the early Castlevania. I've played the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I've played a Castlevania, but it was on a handheld console. I don't remember which one, but I loved that game. This game brings a lot of that feeling of side-scrolling, beating the monster. It looks great. Backgrounds itself is a somewhat... It looks normal at first, but over time, the hellscapes and the dungeony and the lighting, it all looks great. Old games like that used to have issues with lighting, whether it was it had a bad habit of being very, very dark or very, very colourful. Never a good in between. This game has a bit of a good balance where it's not too dark and it's not too colourful. Bring the atmosphere around. And I haven't even written down that the music to go with it is metal. And my favourite music is metal. This game is metal. The music design, sound and music design sound absolutely fantastic. Although there are some very average sounding skeletons on there, but it's a side-scrolling platformer which looks like it takes a lot of heavily motivated. No, it's like it takes a lot of the previous games and tries to like fit it into this game, but being its own thing. And I think they've pulled it off quite well. Difficulty, though, is the best thing about it. It's not one of those easy platformers where you can just sit down, you press your jump button like your Marios. I mean, the Mario games, they're not known for being the easiest thing on the planet, but they are beatable. Quite a lot of people could probably beat them on their first try. Hell, there are speedrunners in this world, so... But, and I say but, this game is one of those moments where the game is hard, and when I say hard, I don't mean, oh, it's really difficult because everything's either too fast or the gameplay is crunky. No, the control scheme being that good and that fair makes the game very difficult but very fair. I mean, early game, some of the stuff you're seeing now is the early game where it's quite simple. It's not throwing you into the fire, it's kind of lowering you into the fire. And you're learning the hard way and how to play the game. There's an achievement on playing the game and dying for the first time. There's even an achievement for jumping over the first spike track successfully. It's that good. The enemies are nice and varied in this case. So you've got your standard skeleton melee, demon melee, larger skeleton demon melee, all of which you can counter. You've got your floating head creature bleeding eye thing, which shoots balls at you, and you hit that and it shoots the balls back. You can get them with your jumping attack. It's great. Because at never any point did I think that the game was being unfair to me. And I hesitate to bring it up, but Dark Souls had a similar like philosophy when it came to the difficulty level. It made it hard but fair. So everything you did, and if you made the mistake, either by inexperience or just like a stupid mistake, as people do, because people are human when they're playing this game, they make a mistake. Or, this game is one of those times where making a mistake is usually your own fault. And I love that kind of gameplay. It got annoying sometimes because you'd get knocked off a platform to an instant death pit. And to be honest, most of the time that is my fault, but the odd time it's not my fault. And it's not the game, it's not me, it's the game. No. In conclusion, this game, like I said, hard but fair. Can't get a game. It's very rare to find a game that takes difficulty and makes it fair like that. I mean, there are a lot of games out there that think, okay, to make this game harder, we're just gonna increase the amount of health that the enemy have and lessen the amount of health that you have. That's not how to make things difficult. That's just tedious. Because then eventually, if you take a first-person shooter, it just goes, I'm gonna hide behind this wall. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, regen, regen, regen. Bang, 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 bang. Regen, regen. That's, like, not fun. Gears of War. Although I did like Gears of War. The music and gothic metal, power metal, I'm not even sure which metal it is. The music in it brought me straight into that landscape. I was in a completely different plane of existence when I was playing this game. And I fucking loved it. Pardon my French. No, I don't pardon my French. That is suitable for this moment. If you like metal, you'll like this game. Even just for its soundtrack. It feels great. The game looks nostalgic. When you're playing it, it takes heavily a lot from other games such as Castlevania and a lot of the platformers from the early age of gaming. And I'm not complaining. It looks great. The art style is, I would say it's like somewhere in between of realistic and gothic. And just someone had a moment where they thought these really dark thoughts, and you know what? I'm going to go into this meeting and say these dark thoughts would be suitable for this game that we're making because the rest of it is so evil. And when they put these dark thoughts into this game, it's just, oh, I love it. And the game, overall, it plays well. It doesn't feel like the controllers are against you. You are flowing through, you're getting into the game. The game is easy to learn, hard to master. And moving on to my next bit of paper because it has lots of information for me to... I'm not reading off things, I'm just learning. So, what do you think about this format? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent to it? Do you want me to go back to the original format of just gameplay and talking over it? Let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate some feedback. I am still trying to figure out whether I want to keep this. To be honest, I like it because it just brings that extra thing, and I can just, like, nod my head or shake my head or have a complete spasm here. Preferably, I'll probably have try and work on getting a bit different like player model for this because I'm actually playing on Gary's mod to do this, and I'm really liking how it looks so far. I'm just getting... There will be a few changes every now and then because I'm working out the kinks. But eventually I'll get it sorted. And so, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Put a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you didn't. Either way, I'm happy to know the feedback. If you press dislike, let me know down in the comments what you didn't like about this video. Or if you did like this video, praise me in the comments. Subscribe, hit that little bell so you know when my next videos are out, because YouTube hates people. Anyone smaller than... anyone that's not... I'm gonna bleep that out. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Llama out.